I've got to go get my tea. It's taking longer to boil because I filled the kettle and I've had to boil it twice because I'm now going to drink the well water. Now the well was topped up a couple of days ago by the fire department, and Howie has since put bleach in it. So, I will be right back. I'm going to go get my cup of tea. Okay? And if anybody goes, oh no, bleach. City folks drink chlorine in their water all the time. Ugh. And it's been run through a couple of times, so. I'll be right with you. Alrighty. I gotta show you guys something. But I also have to get some water. Oh, hang on a second. I've got to turn on the do not disturb here. There we go. Okay, now let's go into the plant room here. And I gotta show you what's going on here. I gotta water these too. But there is the California Wonder Peppers, and they're coming up now like crazy. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of them. Look at the tomato plants. I've got to water these. My leeks are coming up all over the place. No celery yet, but guess what? I added more. So as soon as, remind me but when we're done that I have to come in here and water all these. Okay. Ooh. And then, oh, ouch. That was my toe I stubbed. Hang on a second here. Oh, what, Gracie, what? She's starting already. Look at this. This. Oh, she's thrown it on the floor. What, we're going to start this shit? You gotta pick it up for me, Mommy. Which do you want? You want the brush, crotcha, or do you want the duck? Whee! Oh shoot, I hit the wall. She slid right down the hall. Come here. Come here. Come here. Give me that. Come here. Come here. Tell me this dog. Yes, I know, baby. Oh, yes. We do this now. She's got me. She had me doing this morning when I was getting dressed. I sit on the toilet to get dressed because it's the right height for me to pull. You know, doesn't matter. You don't need to know. Anyway, she heard me brushing my hair. And oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, oh, oh. Look at the, just a quivering. Come here. You got to turn around so I can scratch your back, your bum. Come here. Turn. Turn. Baby. Kidney bean. You got a kidney bean for me. Not in my face. Oh my God. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. There's the kidney bean. Look at the ears, guys. Look at the ears. That's the chicka bow wow look. Chicka bow wow. Oh my goodness, you wouldn't know sex if it jumped up and tried. You've never. Oh, look at your belly. There. Oh. Okay. All right, that's it. Okay. Go. I tell ya. Okay. All right. Let's pop out the chat. Hey, everybody. Oh, now this has got a... Have you noticed, folks, that we no longer have issues with this or the screen going black? Every time I get... Gracie, please. You've had your scratches. You've had your run up and down the hall. Now it's time, and you haven't even said hello to anybody. You're just being, gotta be the center of my world. Okay. Oh God, my chair almost went that way. Do. Inside voice, please. Inside. Mummy's live. You gotta keep it down, okay? Keep it down. Keep it down. All right. Thank you. But you know by the look on her face, folks, that she's not going to keep it down. She was just about to knock it off the bed. Okay. She is the center of my world in so very, very many ways. She and I are together 24/7. The only time she's not with me is when she's outside or in the summertime when she sleeps with Howie sometimes in the motorhome in the summer. Gracie, please keep it down, will ya? Wait for it, folks. Yeah. Thank you. That big sigh was resignation. Like, I'll take it away from you. Heard her and went to squeak the stuffed bunny. So how's everybody doing today? Sorry I was running late. It was my first cup of tea out of the well since we've had issues with it. But I've boiled it twice. There's been, bleach or chlorine put in it. And I can't smell it or taste it, so it's been put through. Where Where are my scissors? Oh my gosh. I tell you, folks, sometimes if my head... Oh, stop, Grace. Stop. Oh, whoa, my artist. Stop, Gracie. You know better. Mommy said. I have to use craft scissors. I hope so, Linda. Howie has not actually put the lid back on it yet. He's got it covered with a piece of steel and a piece of flooring. It's got flooring over it and a piece of heavy steel to keep it closed. But he wants to make it so that he can check it. So he'll probably check it tonight. And then, you know, as soon as he feels it's back to normal, he's really worried about it. And I don't blame him. Right? We've never had this kind of problem with the well. So I told him, I don't want this washing machine anymore. I don't want something. Like, it's one thing if it's unbalanced and it shuts off it with an error message. That I appreciate. Right? But when it's off slightly, it doesn't shut off. It just fills up and then drains trying to balance the load. And that's what ran our well down. Right? What's going on, Phoebe? Oh, that's good, Candy. Hi. So now I got to start washing and washing always, but keeping, I've got to take the edges off and clean a bunch of dog food cans because I'm going to soon be transplanting those tomato plants, right? Could be a sensor issue. Could be. I don't care. I no longer like my washing machine. And if I can, I'm going to find one. I don't care if it's secondhand, but with a central agitator. The best one I ever had, and I can't remember who made it. I'm pretty sure it was Maytag. And it had a central spindle, and it had the top, had a cup that you would put your fabric softener in so that when it spun out of the cup. I don't use fabric softener anymore, right? At all. No bounce sheets, no fabric softener. But after you've done your entire house loads, after about 6 months, the first couple of months, yes, your clothes will come out and clingy and all that stuff with static electricity. But the truth is, after about 6 months, that will slow down to almost nil. Why? Because the fabric softener builds up in your clothes and it makes it harder and harder to get. So you got to wash it out of your clothing. Good afternoon. Brother-in-law had a cold. Sister can't sleep with him because snoring. Took my bed. She took your bed or you let her have it? There's a difference there, darling. You let someone else have your bed and now you're paying the price. Right? Hey, Bender! Rita has time. Okay, now. Okay, so this time, next week, it will be my son Arthur's 38th birthday. Yeah, 38. And then this time next week, which is Monday, and then the Friday, it's Briar's birthday, and he'll be 33. And then, but on Briar's birthday, we're all going to visit Arthur. We're picking up Briar, and we're going to visit Arthur and Edward on Arthur's birthday. And then on Briar's birthday, I'm going to have all my teeth removed on the 20th. So I'm doing a few more of these. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a couple of, hey friends, this is Mrs. Wolfie from Life with the Wolfies. And today, and then I'll do, hey friends, this is Mrs. Wolfie from our half acre homestead. And what I'll do is I'll have those with me on camera, and then I will use them for the beginnings of my videos. So you guys don't have to see me without my teeth, except on live stream. Right? My husband is the 15th and son is 19. Your husband is the 15th what? 15th husband? I've been tempted to get a little, you know those old spin washers? I've been tempted to get one of those and put it out on the porch in the summertime and just wash my clothes out there and hang them up on the hangers and stuff like that. Well, I know, sweetheart, but you're not on camera. Hey, Nurse Ratchet, how's it going on? I ended up putting a temporary restraining order on the seller. He wouldn't leave me alone. Yeah, well, like I said, if you made, you know, when people do that, it's because they think they've sold something and they've spent the money. That's probably what he's pissed about. So, good for you. Temporary restraining order sounds like the plan. You notice that somebody's behaving, eh? What's going on? How come you're dealing with nausea today, honey? I got supper in the crock pot. And I found my weed seeds yesterday. So they will be getting soaked soon. All right, now, everybody. Well, that's how you work it, you know? You get her going and you give her a scratch. You give her the, you know, her work over with the hairbrush. And then you throw the baby a couple of times. And she's old, like me. She's going to be 11. Well, let's just say she's 11 years old because we bought her on the 11th and they said she was 8 weeks old. I thought she was 6 weeks old. So I give her February 14th as her birthday. So is everybody saying hi? I'm going to go behind the fan for a few minutes. Who's Barbara? Oh, hi, Barbara. Barbara Ann. Barbara Ann. Hey, okay. Oh, paper towel is hard on the nose. Alrighty, now let's pop out the participants list. It's awful short today. Not everyone said hi. Barbara M, MB, Gma, KV, John Gorby, Judy Finnegan, Judy Kent, Candy, Kathy Ponder, hello, darling. Lena K, Linda Boston, Nurse Ratchet, and Phoebe, the long and winding road that leads. Hey, Angela M. and Frida Cassidy and Lena K. Our pedestrian used to sing "Help Me, Rhonda" every time she saw my goddaughter. How's it going? So, I got borscht in the crock pot, and I'm sure when the video comes out, people are gonna go, "Oh, that's not how you make borscht." Why does this keep going like that? What's going on here with you? Are you not like plugged all the way in? Okay, so what borscht is basically it's beaten cabbage soup. That's pretty much it. And with some kind of broth, right? Well, you saw my big jug of broth. So I had yesterday we had spaghetti. And hey, happy guy Jack, I am not going to be here on your birthday because I'm going to be with my son and my sons and my grandson and Howie on my son's birthday. But know that when I get home that night, I will sing you happy birthday, I promise. A different Sue song every day. Wow. Whoa, Susie Q. I bet you that was one of them. Hey, Willow. So what I did was I had like less than a cup of spaghetti sauce, but this much in the bottom of the crock pot last night. So I said, piss on it. I'm not wasting food anymore. I'm getting tired of buying food that has to be thrown away. So if it doesn't have to be thrown away, it's getting made into another meal, right? So I poured the stock into the spaghetti sauce and let it slow cook overnight. And then I put in, and I made this by accident one day because I was out of stuff. So I just, threw beets and cabbage and stuff, dried cabbage. So, and Howie and I said, I'm not sure you're going to like this or not. He loved it. So I had this leftover spaghetti sauce, just a little bit, topped it up with about a quart of broth, my homemade broth, the stuff that's really thick. Then I put in a pint of beets because I don't like canned beets. I'm not going to can them anymore. I'm going to freeze them. I put in a jar of beets, and then the last time I made oven roasted beets, I only used half a baggie. So the other bag was in the freezer. So I cut them up and I threw them in, and I threw in about a cup of dehydrated cabbage and 3 onions. Ooh. Do you want to see it? Let's go have a look. Well, I didn't feel like making meatloaf, and it's, soup season. It's not going to be here. You might think it is, but soup season will be over in about 8 weeks. So, soup season will be over in about 8 weeks. So, look at this. Whoa! Sorry about that, folks. Look. You dish this up. You add a big dollop of sour cream. Oh yeah, baby. Yum. Yum, 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 yum. Gotta leave that to bubble up now. Alright. Oh, I guess I'll show you. I started, I got all 35 of these done, and I started on the dark. So these have all been ironed out and they're ready to go. All right, back into the office bedroom thing. And after this, I'm going to read the next chapter of Christie. My hydro guys came to read the meter today. So I'm expecting a $600 hydro bill, electric bill, for those who don't know what I'm talking about. Because I've been turning the heat on in my room, which is rare. I don't normally turn the heat on in my room. She follows me everywhere. Hey, baby boy! How you doing, sweetheart? How's your bum? Well, in the summertime when it gets really, really hot and humid, we don't like eating hot, liquidy things because it just makes you sweat more, right? So, and today is Monday, so I'm going to be reading next on Reading with Beverly Wolfe, and then I'm going to do my Patreon live. It has been colder than normal, but there's a big polar vortex, coldest wet. I laugh when I watch the news. Hang on. I laugh when coldest weather in 100 years and blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking, oh, well, weather's pretty friggin' normal for this time of year. Yes, it has been a little bit more colder than normal, but that happens from one winter to the next. You get a mild one, you get a cold one, you get a polar vortex one. Anyway, I was watching this. Coldest weather, la, la, la. It was in some little isolated place near Hamilton, Ontario, right? Where they're not used to frigid temperatures. I'm sorry, this is Canada. Get used to it, right? Stop blaming. And they're like making it sound like our entire country is going into a minus 50 degree deep freeze, when it's just this one little area that's experiencing things like minus 26 Celsius. Get used to it. The worst year we had a couple of really bad years. The year we went to Florida, the last time we went to Florida with Nan, and it was cold in Florida, right? And I remember we were going on an airboat ride, and we were going to go on an airboat ride tour to see the gators and stuff, right? And it was just us. We booked it we didn't book it with a bunch of people. It was just us, Dee Dee and Kevin, and Mom and Howie and I. And we're getting ready to go. And Mom's wearing pedal pushers, sandals, and a short sleeve shirt with a cardigan. I said, where do you think you're going in that getup? She said, well, we're going on a boat ride. I said, Mom, it's an airboat ride, right? We're going to go look at alligators. It's cold. Put on long pants, socks, proper shoes, and your winter coat. She just looked at me like I was nuts. She froze. Like we all froze because one of those air fan boats, they kick up moisture into the air. It's cold. It was raining. It was nuts. Used to ride the ducks down in Branson, Missouri. What does that mean? Oh yeah, they're still going to try and sell global warming. It's a bunch of crap. It really is. But I'm not going to talk about that because I'll get dinged. You had a fall this morning again? Oh, honey. Yeah, well, stop trying to move too fast. Pretend that you have bad knees. Okay? Walk slower, but walk. Get up and down, but, do it slow, but do it. You know what I mean? Your mom wouldn't let us play in the snow because of the weather. The floating cars are ducks. I don't get it. But so, that year when we went to Florida, we had a 2-week stretch of minus 40 daily. Never got above minus 40 for 2 weeks straight. Killed our beehive, even though it was insulated. killed all of my goats. We had to have my last goat, we had to give a C-section to because she was dying, and her like the Clover, Blossom died carrying twin girls, and Oli died, our buck. And when I realized that they weren't getting up, I called the vet and I had her do a C-section on Blossom or Clover. And that's where we got Ditto and Snots. But I mean, that was a really rough winter. 40 below, didn't get above 40 below. Usually during the day you get it up to like minus 20 or something, right? But it was nuts. Yeah, it was tragic. It was tragic. Blossom, Clover, Ditto, and Snots. Yep. We're still working on the hamstring, so my balance is pretty off. Well, just be more careful, sweetheart. I read that you kept them in crates. Well, when they were born, all the adults were dead. And so I had to be mom. So I brought them in the house and I bottle fed them. And at night I laid bath mats in the bottom of my tub because they were really tiny, right? I laid bath mats in the bottom of my tub so that wouldn't slip. And then I laid a folded wool blanket and then a blanket on top. And then they would sleep in there at night. And every night a fresh blanket went in that tub and the other one went in the wash. Like when they were out for the day, I would throw their because they'd poop and pee. And I'd throw that in the wash. And then I would close off my doorway here with a gate. And I put a blanket down in the hallway, and then I would close off the other end of the hall with a gate. So that they had, well, not the other end of the hall, but from the bathroom door to they had like a 4 foot by 4 foot pen. And then when they got older, they went out into the porch. But I mean, you know. Hey, Jan. No, Corey, that was two different times. I didn't get goat lice. I thought I had goat lice. And and my goat that had lice was a different goat altogether. It had nothing to do with Ditto and Snots. Ditto and Snots were brand new, clean as buttons. Okay? And I didn't get goat lice from that one goat a long time before that. I was on Tramadol. And Tramadol, I had been on it for 3 months. And Tramadol started messing with my meds. And because I didn't know it, because I had been taking one a day for 3 months, I didn't realize that I was getting twitchy and scratchy and all that stuff. And it wasn't anything to do with lice. I thought I had lice. It wasn't. It was Tramadol. It was a reaction to the Tramadol. So I can't have that. Well, you know what? Lice don't cross species. So if you have lice, it's human lice that you got from another person who had lice. And if you got lice off your goat, you have a shower. They're not gonna hang out on you because you're not a goat. You know what I mean? Hey, Showbell. Only one goat ever had lice. And that we fixed. That was the goat that was drinking her own milk. Drove me crazy. But, yeah. So, really? Well, the problem is I was going through a lot of pain. This was... the year after we got home from the year after we went to Florida, my nephew Mikey got married, and I had been on tramadol for 3 months because I had been going through some really weird pain things that weren't was happening at the same time every day, and it was nowhere I've ever had pain before, and it just would start, and it would be like somebody was crushing an ovary, which I don't have any ovaries, right? But it turns out because I can't have opiates and I can't have anti-inflammatories, they tried tramadol. But apparently you're not supposed to take it more than a couple of days. I took it for 3 months. So tramadol went off the list as well. So I'm back to Tylenol, muscle relaxers, and marijuana. That's my pain control system. Oh, no, God, no. Egypt was in 2012, honey. When I went to Egypt, it was 2012. Because I'll never forget, because we were in an airport on our way home when Noreen of Noreen's Kitchen got a hold of me, or was it Kat from Cat's Cradle? One of them got a hold of me because they were invited to do the radio show once a week on Prepper Radio, the Homestead Honeys. And they asked, there was supposed to be 4 of us, and there was Bear Prepper, Noreen, Cat's Cradle, and they invited me. And I was so honored because I only had 5,000 subscribers at the time. Pregabalin. I tried Lyra gabapentin for the first time last night. I think it helped. You got to be. I can't take Lyrica either. Speaking of Florida, when we got to Florida, I needed something stronger, and Mom was taking Lyrica. Nan was taking Lyrica. And I've read all the, can cause all these things. But at that point, I was in so much pain by the time we arrived in Florida. We got there early. We'd driven that fast. And we had to stay in a separate room from the one that we were going to stay in. But I asked Mom if I could have some of her Lyrica. And I said, just to try. I said, because you never know, right? Raise your hand if you have not heard this story. Okay, I'm going to go behind the fan. You tell me if you've not heard the story of what happened when I took Lyrica in Florida. Heather the needy homesteader, were really close until the bitch factory took something I posted about a dog. Okay, I was not investigating, I was looking at dog breeders because when Gracie goes, we want, and I was looking into Boston Terriers. And one place I had almost settled on that I was going to start saving money for a Boston. Someone came in and took me aside in private message and said, don't do them. Don't get them. They don't wait. They don't wait. As soon as the puppies are weaned, they get the mother pregnant again. And I went, what? They don't even wait a year? And I put a meme up of me spitting cereal out, right? I mean, she didn't even wait a year before she bred it. Well, the bitch factory took that meme, and I guess Heather the needy homesteader had got married again or something. I don't know. But the bitch factory took that meme and posted it on the bitch factory saying that I was shocked at Heather getting remarried. And then Heather attacked me in private message going, you blah, 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 blah. And it's like, and then she blocked me and I couldn't explain myself to her. It had nothing to do with her. But see, that's the danger of the bitch factory, right? The danger of the bitch factory is if you go in there, they twist shit, right? And they can ruin your life if you let them. Okay, so not everyone's heard the story about Florida. Okay, so you've never taken morphine, codeine, Demerol, anything like that? Okay. But she had a really nice website. But anyway, they took that meme, misconstrued it, and put it on Heather the Needy Home. They had a whole set of pages for Heather the Needy Homesteader on the Bitch Factory. They have their whole thing. They did the same thing to Noreen. And they put it on her on the thread that she would go in and check now and again, which is really which is dangerous. You don't want to do that because you're inviting it, right? When you do. So they put it up there and said, look, even Mrs. Wolfe agrees that she shouldn't have got married or something like that. And I'm like, I had to go into the bitch factory to find out what Heather was talking about. I had no idea what she was talking about. Right? Anyway, so we got to Florida. It wasn't within a few months. It was, I think it was, if she did marry him, it was probably within a year. It was like 9 months or something, right? If you can ever not take an opiate, oh yeah, tell me about it. I'm really actually grateful that I can't take opioids because being an addictive personality, like being an alcoholic in recovery, being a chain smoker, 18 years in recovery. See, I don't consider marijuana a drug. I consider it an herb. And there's no addiction factor for me with that, right? Did the two older, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't. Anyway, so we got to Florida and I asked Mom if I could take her Lyrica but she's so tiny and I'm so big, or she was so tiny and I'm so big that I had to, I looked it up how much to take for my weight and size. And I took 2 of her Lyrica. Well, the next morning we had to go to Walmart. We booked into our room, our proper room that we're going to stay in for the week. And then we went to Walmart to buy beach towels and a case of water, and because our room had 2 beds and a bathroom, but the bathroom sink and the counter and everything was in the room. So I bought a bowl and I got a big bowl of I bought a bowl and I got oranges and bananas and stuff because Nan always ate fruit. And I got Mr. Noodles so I could microwave a cup of soup if I wanted to. And we worked on only buying breakfast and buying supper. And then we would have leftovers. Some days we wouldn't have to buy anything at all. Right? So, no, he was not he was not the father of the 2 oldest. He was the father of her little boy and little girl that were in the accident with them. So anyway, now remember, I'm on mood meds. So we get into, and I'm like, look at me walk. I was walking like boom, 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 boom. I was like, oh yeah, this Lyrica stuff works great. Until we got to Walmart. And we were in Homestead, Florida. We got to this Walmart at one end, and there was only one cart, and it was not charged, and it was unplugged. And I started to get pissed off because now I have to walk to the other end of the store, and it was one of them great big super centers, to look for another cart. So I go there, and I see a cart right at the other entrance, but somebody's unplugged it and plugged in their cell phone, and their cell phone is sitting on the seat of the cart. And it was right next to a pop machine. So I went to lift up the phone to put it on top of the pop machine, and I heard, no, 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 don't touch that. And there was this, I have no other way to say it, but there was this black man, really black, and he had a bandana that was damn near covering his eyes, and he had long like braids, like not, they weren't dreads, but they were like braids, and he was wearing and he was wearing a heavy coat, and he went, no, 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 don't touch it. I said, this cart is public property, and I need it. Don't touch the phone. I said, now just a second. And Howie said, and I heard Howie's voice say, Bev, leave it. And I went, just a second here. This is public property. And Howie said, Bev, shut up. Now, Howie never tells me to shut up. Because I had gotten in my head, I forgot where I was. And I didn't take a really good close look at this gangbanger that I was about to get in a fight with. And I said, you shouldn't be unplugging carts to use the plug for your personal cell phone. And Howie grabbed my arm and he marched me right out of that area and got me a cart and marched me, because obviously the cart was dead. And so I had a mood swing, and a crazy one. I was about to get into it, and I don't do that. I don't do road rage anymore. But Lyrica, woo! I was walking great, but I was psychotic. So I got in the car. I got the push cart, and I went around the corner I went in and I went around a corner where it was like near the pharmacy, where there's like no windows, and it's just a corner where a shelf meets a shelf in the corner. And I started to cry. Like really quietly. It's like, okay, Bev, get a hold of yourself. And then Howie comes up to talk to me. He's going to try and explain to me that I could have very easily gotten shot. And he saw me crying and he goes, oh God, here we go. And I said, just back off. I came around here to be alone so I could try and gather myself. Okay? You're not helping. And I walked away. And I thought, okay, I'll just go around. I'll buy the towels. I'll buy this, that, and, the stuff that we needed for our room, and a kettle and stuff like that. And I'm calm. Now I'm calm. I'm just walking around the store. And I heard someone say, ma'am, are you okay? And I said, yeah. And they said, are you okay? And I said, yeah, why? And they said, you're crying, sweetheart. And I went like this. I had been walking around the store, bawling, not even aware of it. Never touched Lyrica again. What's night to shine? I don't get that. What's night to shine? Hey, Kathy. Hey, Wild Edibles, Canahana. Willows, Kathy Acevedo. What is night to shine? Canna, I'm not being judgmental. Howie recognized his outfit. And he recognized the body language, like the guy was reaching into his fucking pocket. Okay? And his whole attitude was, yeah, right, don't, no, that kind of thing. And he started reaching, and that's when Howie grabbed me and steered me right out through the doors into the store. That's how he said, Bev, you could have gotten shot over a cart. He said, remember where you are. Oh, 11 to 7. Tim Tebow Foundation. I still don't know what that means. So, Canna Hannah, I'm not racist. I'm just, listen, just because there's another thing that's going on. I'm white doesn't make me racist. Okay? When I say gangbanger, it's because how he explained it to me afterwards. Right? I didn't care what color he was. He was using public property. He left me no cart because he wanted to charge his phone. That had nothing to do with race or color. That's not what I saw. I saw a rude, belligerent asshole, charging his phone and leaving no cart for a senior. You know what I mean? Prom for special need kids through the Tim T. Oh, wonderful. Oh, Night to Shine. Okay. So that's what happened. That's how we know. And it took 2 days for that 2 to 3 days for that to really get out of my system. It was not a good trip. It was not a good trip. Exactly, wild edibles. That's what Howie saw, but I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I am a woman who has raised her children, her sons, to respect the elderly. Okay? And it's like my cart at the one Maxi store that I go to. Right? On the 20th, I'm getting all my teeth removed at 8:45 in the morning. Pretty sure I'm not going to want to go grocery shopping, but I'm going to. Right? Afterwards. I wish I'd gotten it in the afternoon so I could have gone grocery shopping and then had my teeth removed. Just got home from outpatient surgery on my left leg. Doing good, but much pain when I have to walk on it. Hey, Lori, what happened to your left leg? I'm just letting people know that just because I describe someone as a black person, when I say very black, I mean he was. I couldn't tell where his skin started and his sunglasses didn't. You know what I mean? He was really, really, and then then there was the bandana and the coat. It was the way the coat was all buffed up, and it was I took a medication to help start menstruation cycle and had to stop after 3 days because I was super mean and was scared I was going to hurt someone. That's the thing, is when I had my ovaries removed, I had already been perimenopausal. I hadn't had a period in over a year. But I'll tell you, when they took my ovaries, as sick as my ovaries were, I had a major meltdown about 5 days after I got home from the hospital. And I told the doctor about it. She says, "What do you mean a major meltdown?" I said, I had an anxiety attack so bad that I had to get it. Because I had 33 staples removed right straight up my belly. And they had taken 8 pounds of tissue, plus my ovaries. 8 pounds of scar tissue from previous surgeries. So I had to get Howie to walk me out the patio door onto the deck so that I could scream. And then take a deep breath and scream until I was out of breath. And take a deep breath and scream. I did that about 4 times to get rid of the zinging anxiety that was going through my body. Like it was something like I was going to start punching shit, right? So I went outside and I screamed. And so I told the doctor about that. She went, "Wow." And I said, "Yeah." And she said, do you want to go on hormone pills?" I said, "Isn't that basically birth control?" And she said, "Yeah." I said, "So I'm an elderly woman who's an ex-smoker, and you want to put me on birth control. Isn't that like heart and stroke shit?" I said, "No thanks. I'm pretty sure I'm over the worst of it." So I've never had to take hormones or anything. I know, Phoebe, I know. And let's not. Well, I'm telling you, it was cold. It was cold. He was wearing a winter coat. But it was kind of almost like a football coat, like wool with the leather arms and stuff. So when I was young, I had 6 times the testosterone of a normal man. My premenstrual cycle was a little extreme. Wow. Why? Okay. Okay. I'm confused, S. Bender. You're saying you had 6 times the testosterone of a normal man, but your premenstrual cycle was a little extreme. I'm not sure I'm understanding your gender, if it's okay to ask. Hey, Mama Dukes, how's it going? I know. I know. It's gotten to the point where we're not allowed to have an opinion on anybody else's race, religion, origins, or anything. Or if you're white, you're a racist. Oh, I'm glad to hear it, honey. So, I'm sorry if that made you uncomfortable, S. Bender, or Sue. I'm sorry if that made you uncomfortable. But I didn't know women could have testosterone. I had no idea. I did not know that. I didn't know that. Anyway, folks, I had no idea. I had no idea. And I'm really grateful I grew up in the generation I grew up. I grew up in the feral generation. 1964, the last of the baby boomers, the beginning of the Gen Xers. And I was a pretty feral kid. Right. And she also told me her name was Sue. So just like men have both estrogen and testosterone, I had no idea. Okay. Thank you, Nurse Ratchet. So yeah, that's kind of, I had no idea, right? So just in different levels. You're 72 now. You're the same age as myself. Actually, my sister is going to be 73. So my sister's 72. She'll be 73 on March 3rd. Howie's March 1st. Wendy's March 3rd. It's polite to ask nicely these days. If we are confused, I was kinda, so it was good to know. Thanks. Picos. What's Picos? I'm sorry if I embarrassed you, Sue. I just honestly didn't know. Okay, listen, folks. I've been here an hour, and I'm going to get ready. Polycystic ovary syndrome. Ooh. My cousin Mary Jane used to have something called PID, pelvic inflammatory disease. Anyway, I've got to go now because I'm going to go over to Reading with Beverly Wolfe, and I'm going to read the next chapter in Christie. And then I'm going to do my Patreon live stream. So, this is Mrs. Wolfe from our Half Acre Homestead saying thanks for hanging with me today. And hopefully tomorrow, I'll probably be sewing tomorrow. Let me know if you want to be with me when I'm sewing, okay? Reading with Beverly Wolfe, folks. I will see you in a half an hour for the next chapter of Christie. I do believe it is chapter, oh yeah, we're getting there. Chapter 37, and this is how much of the book we have left to read. Right there, so. All right, I love you. Take care. God bless. And remember, politeness isn't weakness. It's actually strength. Think about that. Take care. God bless.